here on camera once again. Realized it's been a long time since I'd made a post, and been pretty busy, had a whole lot of things going on. I certainly got behind in the video posting department, but I've got some requests. I was talking to a neighbor the other day, and he wanted to see my jig and how it was I made some of these toy parts. I was telling him about I didn't cut them out on the bandsaw like normal. I made a jig and trimmed them up on the shaper. So he wanted to see a little bit of that, and I've got in an order here, and I'm working on some toy parts, and I thought I'd shoot a quick little video clip of how I made the jigs and what they look like, and how we cut these parts. So let me move the camera around here. We'll get the camera around here, and let's see how that works. Okay, what we got here, it may have noise in the background. That's the air conditioner running. So anyhow, what we got here is got two homemade jigs. These are little puzzles. This is meant to look like a yoke off of some oxen. You know, used to pull a plow, wagon, cart, what have you back a few years ago. But anyway, that's what this is designed to somewhat resemble, is the yoke, and it gets a string and a ring on that string, and it'll look like this, and you move that, the string will be tied in each end, and it'll loop through the hole here in the middle, and then you move that ring. When you figure out the puzzle, the object of it is to move the ring from one side to the other without untying the string. Anyhow, I don't do the string part. All I make is the little wooden part here. So, of course, they're made out of different species. But anyhow, just start with a blank. Start with a blank like this. I won't go into cutting these down. Of course, everybody, knows how that works. But you cut them down, and they got a couple of holes in them. They got to be spaced properly to work with the jig. But I keep a pattern for the drill press, so I know exactly where to bore the holes. So anyway, we'll bore the hole, and we'll start with the first jig. And I got a nail here for a post. It locates it. So put it down on that post and lock it down. And then we take it over to the shaper, and we flush trim it on that one side. Then we'll take it off of this jig, stick it on this jig, flush trim the other side, and we're done with it. It's already smooth and trimmed and down to proper size and everything. So spin around here, and I'll fire up the shaper, and you see how this works. Get it on here. You can see. Sometimes you have a little bit of tear out. Sometimes I might take the bandsaw and trim the edges of it a little bit. I'm not on these. It's been working pretty well, and I had some pretty tight grained wood to work with here on these. So let's go ahead and give this one a shot. Alright, now that got us on one side. So what we'll do now is take this off of this jig, turn it right around and put it on this one, lock it down, and now we're ready to get to the other side. Take a little bit of extra time when it sticks out like that. We didn't trim it on the saw. Try to trim it just a little bit easily as we go along. That way it don't tear it out. It's quite bad. So now here's what we wind up with. Now we'll bore the hole in the center, and we'll take a round over and round over each side of it just slightly, and that's how we'll form the piece for the puzzle. So I'm gonna get back to making the rest of these. I've got involved in playing music again. I'm sure a lot of people on YouTube here don't know, but I'm just an old hillbilly, and I play bluegrass music. So, but anyway, got back into playing some, and that in of itself has turned into some more work. I've got a new line of birdhouses I've come up with, and in fact, we might just show one here. So this is a new line of birdhouses I've come up with, and they resemble musical instruments. I was talking to my wife about it. She thought it might be a good idea, and I said, well, let me make a couple and see how they turn out, and we're going to see what the response. So I'm going to go to a fiddler's convention, and I'm going to take my new line of birdhouses, a couple of them, and see what the musicians think about it. But anyhow, here's the guitar. It's nothing complex. It's, you know, relatively simple little birdhouse, but the shape and the design of it I thought was kind of cool. So here's the guitar, and here's the banjo. This is the prototype, so the hole is a little different than the actual birdhouse there, but and then they can be sized for different kind of birds, whatever you want. But anyhow, here's the banjo. So now I've got the guitar and the banjo, and I'll probably at some point expand on into it and do a fiddle maybe and a mandolin. You know, the main bluegrass instruments. So I'll expand the line as we go if it turns out to be popular with people. But anyhow, I just thought I'd mention that. So, but back to the project I was talking about. Had a fellow that lives here locally. His son has got into music. Of course, he don't. You know, young guy. He don't play bluegrass music. I think he's probably pretty serious rock and roll musician from the looks of his guitar. But anyway, his first guitar, he'd been taking lessons and doing really well. He's a really accomplished musician. So, but his first guitar he wanted to keep. His dad wanted me. He has commissioned me to build him a shadow box big enough to put this guitar in, with a door where he can open it and take it out. But it's a custom guitar. It's an electric, solid body guitar. But they tore it down and they done some airbrush work on the body and fixed it like he wanted it, and then they cleared it back. It's a beautiful instrument. But anyhow, it was his first one, and he's naturally improved with his ability, and he's upgraded his equipment and all that stuff. So we're going to start next week on that project after I return home from the Fiddlers Convention this weekend. So that'll be one that haven't done anything on a shadow box. Of course, it's nothing complex, just to be a box, but we are going to fix the inside of it and line it where the guitar fits in there. So that may prove to be interesting when we get started on that. And then we'll have some Lexan in the door. So anyhow, I think I'm going to do a video on that, maybe even a two-part series, because that'll probably be a little bit more involved than the 10 or 15, 20 minutes or something we need to keep the videos at. So anyhow, I know I've got some new subscribers. I saw them, and saw where I had several new ones. So I want to welcome all those to the channel and hope that we get something on here that you enjoy. Anyhow, until next time, thanks for watching.